Flaps. Wibble wobble, who's got a hangy flap? If I was to ever tell you, I think I'd get a slap. When chomps go bad. For me and chomps, it had gone wrong and it felt a little sour, especially when I looked on her phone while she was in the shower and discovered loads of text messages from a bunch of other men. Fuck getting loved up like this, I thought, ever a fucking again. So I confronted her with her phone and said, "Fuck you, bitch, you're dirty. There's too much fun for me to have before I reach the age of 30. I then gave Chompy back her phone. Well, I chucked it in her bath. Our relationship was finished anyway, so this just made me laugh. I could now look forward to the year ahead, and the thought of it appealed. The World Cup was coming up, and my nuts had almost healed. Fat Emma. Whilst knocking doors for EDF, I met Fat Emma the fat mum. Her boyfriend had just left her, so I figured I should come round to her flat for easy sex. Even though her child was a brat, Emma's face was really nice, but her body was too fat. Sweden. After all the shit I'd been through, a holiday I sure was needing, so off I went with Nurse Steve to see Ben and Kat in Sweden. Ah, Sweden, what a country. All the girls are blonde and fit. I'm glad little Ben lives out there. In fact, he's a lucky fucking git. Ben took us on the Cinderella for a 24-hour cruise. It was just us 3 Brits, 3,000 Swedes and an extreme amount of booze, which resulted in us getting into a cabin full of Swedish muff. Yes, Swedish girls are the most Swedish things of all the Swedish stuff. Viking killers. Whilst on the Cinderella cruise ship, I drank 4 Viking killers, then found myself bouncing off most of the walls and pillars, with 10 shots no less in every Viking killer that I drunk. Well, let's see, I had 4 Viking killers, so that's 40 shots I fucking sunk, which did of course catch up with me when I was with the hotties in their cabin, because it wasn't sexy Swedish chicks, it was the toilet door that I was grabbing. I chundered in the bowl, then staggered off back to my bed. Next time, I won't have Viking killers, I'll drink baby shams instead. Sorry, I seem to have broke myself. When I returned from my Sweden holiday, Kim had to have a word with me. He said, "What is up with your right eye and the strapping around your knee?" My eyeball popped from straining whilst being very sick, and my knee's swollen up and hurt so much I need a fucking stick. So on my first day back at work, I had to throw a sickie, because knocking doors whilst in this state, even for me, would be too tricky. Return of the Mank. I'd hooked up the Manker girlfriend. She was completely nuts. Unfortunately for my Mank friend, she proved to be a slut. The Mank had moved in with her, but when they split, he packed his bag, then asked if he could crash at mine because his girlfriend was a slag. I said okay, and he moved in to my front room on the sofa, but my flat weren't really big enough for me and this manky loafer.